Hi, I'm Megan with SwiftPaws. We're best known for our lure coursing kits. But what if you're looking for a more budget-friendly or space-saving way to play, and you still want to give your pet a healthy outlet for their chase drive? That's where the SwiftPaws Flirt Pole comes in. So our Flirt Pole is an under $50 product, and it's a great tool to have in your enrichment toolbox. It is extendable, meaning that you can actually extend the Flirt Pole up to 4 feet long, giving you a really long arm's reach to play, but it also collapses down to just 16 inches for easy storage. It also has a heavy-duty paracord rope on the end with a loop for easy attachment of toys or lures, and it is made out of sturdy aluminum, meaning it's a lot more durable than some of the plastic options that you can find elsewhere. And it comes with its own toy, this little stuffing-free bone-shaped toy with a loop on the end for easy attachment. So let's go over how to use it and a couple of tips as well. So with this rope on the end of it and the loop, I am going to attach the bone flag by simply taking the loop of the Flirt Pole through the loop of the toy, and then I'm going to push the toy itself all the way back through the Flirt Pole loop, and that's going to create a really sturdy attachment. But what if you wanted to attach a different toy or maybe something that didn't have a loop of its own? Well, that's pretty easy too. You're just going to take the single end of the rope, push it through its own loop, and that's going to create this slip. And now I'm going to take the end of a toy and I'm going to feed it through and just cinch that down. And now I have just attached pretty much any stuffed animal or strip of fabric, anything I want to can become a toy for the Flirt Pole. Now, a couple of tips when playing. When you're playing with a Flirt Pole, you're going to want to keep the toy low to the ground, and you're going to want to run or move it in long sweeping arcs. That's going to keep the stress on their joints and bodies down and the activity level up. They can still burn off a lot of energy and have a ton of fun, but if we raise it off the ground and encourage them to jump up really high, that is going to put excess strain on their joints when they land. And if we do too much quick back and forth, it's going to put a little bit of extra stress as they try to follow it. So long sweeping arcs is best, and if you extend that Flirt Pole out, you can really get a lot of ground coverage by just sweeping it around in long movements. And if I had a really strong, really heavy dog, like a 100-pound dog, I actually might not extend it all the way, because think about it. If you've got a 100-pound dog on the end of it and it's just grabbed on to the toy, it could bend or even eventually break the Flirt Pole. And as sturdy as this one is, no toy is completely indestructible, and I would probably just collapse down one of those sections. It's still pretty long, it's about 3 feet long, but it's a lot more durable and less likely to bend under the weight and leverage out there at the very end than if it was extended all the way. Now, of course, you can also only extend one section, especially if you're in a more limited space or if you're indoors, and you can do the same thing. You can collapse it down all the way and have a very short distance if you're really limited on space. Now let's talk about something else. I have a pup named Melon, and when she grabs onto that toy, she doesn't want to let go. And of course, I can work with things like training and behavior and teach her how to drop and things like that. But goodness, when we are engaged in a tug-of-war battle, it's like her versus me. We're both pulling as hard as we possibly can, and neither one of us wants to let go first. So what I like to do with a dog like that is I use a Velcro strap in between the Flirt Pole and the toy. Now, this strap just has sticky on one side and soft on the other. I can feed it through the loop and attach it to itself. And then I can use that as a way to break free when my pet grabs the toy. And you can use any types of different fabric that'll stick to this. You can test it out with what you have at home. A lot of fleece material will stick to it pretty well. But we've got a couple of other products at SwiftPaws that can be compatible with that. This is a Destructibles toy. It is made by our friends at Terribles, and they are a tear-apart toy where the limbs, arms, and legs come off, and you can let your pet tear it apart, and then you can put it back together over and over again. And I can replace one of those limbs with the Velcro strap. When I do that, that gives me a way for my pet to be able to run and chase, but when they catch it, they can take it off of the Flirt Pole. Now, what happens if they've just ripped off the toy and they still don't want to give it back? That's where, again, I like to do friction-free play with my pet, meaning I want to reduce the amount of friction or me versus them in our play session. So if they've just taken off with one toy, I want to be ready with another one to engage them with. Our critter pack is a good example. Now the fabric, like the fake fur here, isn't going to stick, but on the back side of like the rabbit and skunk, there's this really soft sort of fleece fabric, and boy is it sticky. So if my pet just took off with that Terribles toy, I would be ready, waiting in the wings with that skunk, attaching it, and I can engage them with that. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, they'll drop the toy that they have because they want the one that just came alive. And I think those are all the tips I really have to go over the SwiftPaws Flirt Pole with you. And if nothing else, I hope that I've just given you a little bit of inspiration and another fresh way to play with your pet to add a little bit of excitement and enrichment to their day. So from all of us here at SwiftPaws, take care.